Hello everybody, my name is Khaled Siddiqui, and in today's video I'm going to make an unbiased review, unboxing and tutorial on a Canon VIXIA HF G50, this guy, which is the latest, actually not the latest, but one of the latest, most recent Canon high definition 4K, ultra high definition I should say, camcorders. So I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna do the unboxing and all the good stuff. Let me zoom out this camera so you can see, and let's start doing that. So the camera comes in a box just like this, as you can see, and let me zoom this a little bit this way so you can see better. There, okay, there you go. So yeah, it comes like this, as you can see. And let's open it, see what's included. First I'm going to show you the box, so you see it's 4K Ultra HD MP4 SDXC. You have to use the level 3 or class 3 in order to support very high bitrate read write to support 4K at high frame rate. Otherwise, if you use slower SD card, you could still use it in this camera, but you can only record in high definition, not in 4K. Okay, so that's that. This is the other side of the box, and then we have some writings over here, the battery duration, which kind of battery, how many minutes, and all that good stuff. And that's how it is. So let's open this puppy and see what we have. Okay, so this is the paperwork, the manual, and then we have another box, and look what we have here. We have a battery, the battery pack, sealed. Well, actually it's not sealed, the bag's open, but yeah, it's a brand new battery pack. Very nice battery pack. Now I don't know, I already own like 3 or 4 older versions of Canon VIXIA G20, I believe it is. Let me see, which one is this? Let me look. It's the HF G20. So I already have 3 HF G20s. I'm pretty much familiar with them, and I hope it takes the same battery, but I'll find out. So I could use my old batteries. Oh, this is the, carbon noise filter, which you put on the cable to reduce noise, and that's nothing else in this bag. We have a lens hood which snaps on to the front of the camera, and then you have a little close and open switch here like that. So let's leave that aside and see what else do we have. We have the power cord and the AC adapter. Let's see, is this 8.4 volt? Yeah, the AC adapter is exactly the same as the one in G20, the one that I used to have, the HF G20. Same exact AC adapter. As a matter of fact, even the tip looks the same size. Okay, so that is interchangeable. The AC adapter at least is interchangeable. And we have the camera, and that's it. Nothing else is inside. So let me open the camera. Now the camera is a little wider than your older G20. This is a G50, so the G20 was a little narrower. This is a little wider. Let me remove all these packing materials so we could get on testing the camera. Okay. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have a regular lens cover, lens cap, and then we have a hood style lens cap, which is much better. Okay, let's put back that smaller one for our testing. We have a LCD panel that opens up, and obviously it's protected currently. And then we have 2N SD cards, dual SD cards you can use. And we have focus and zoom. Okay, I believe this is the manual ring setup for focus and zoom. And then we have button 3 and 4, which we will find out what they do. And then, you know, this comes out like this. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. So the viewfinder slides out in order to support longer battery, and slides back in for shorter battery, and it even changes the angle for a better vision. This is the focus. So if you're a person who's wearing glasses, you could focus it here, so you don't have to wear your glasses when you're looking through the viewfinder. And we have start and stop, a menu button, and then the select scroll button. That's the record, start and stop. Right here we have the DC input, completely different from that of the G20, because that one had it somewhere in here. And let's see what else we have here. We have auto and manual. The G20 had 3 positions. You had cinema, auto, and manual. So this one only auto and manual, no cinema. And then we have all the ports on this side. What do we have on the ports wise? We have headphone or earphone. We have a microphone. We have mini HDMI output, and we have a that's a mini USB, not micro. Mini USB port and a remote control, wired remote control. So this is good that it has a microphone jack. That's very good. So you could attach, you know, high-end microphones to it. And then we have built-in microphones here, and then we have a mount for light, or this could be used for multiple purposes, such as light or microphone and so on. So it's not necessarily this is not necessarily for a light. It could also be used for a mic. Now I see it has optical image stabilizer. Now I don't know how good that is with optical image stabilizer, because I did have a camera with a mechanical gimbal stabilizer, which was pretty good. So that's something I need to find out. So basically that's it. And then we have a custom button to customize what you want to do. So it has a lot of gadgets, a lot of little features. So we'll find out and see how we can use them. Okay, so as I turn it on, this is what we get. Let me remove the screen protector, because it seems to be touchscreen, but I'll find out. Okay, so let me zoom into the lens, to the LCD I mean. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is obviously set the date and time. So right now it's October 29th. Yeah, it is touch screen. So that is October. We go here and change that to 29. We go here and change that to 2020. We go here, time is October 29, 7:59. 7:59. So we go to seven 59. Oh, so you can't change the AM, so I have to go complete the circle and change to 7:59 p.m. Okay, the date format is correct, month, day, year, the way it is in the United States. And is it 24-hour format or 12-hour format? You could change that too here. Currently it's 24 hour. Currently it's 12. So this pressing the 24-hour will activate 24, which becomes military style, and then to press this again, it disengages 24 and goes back to 12-hour format. Click OK. So there you go. The date and time is set, and now it's telling me that backup recordings regularly. Okay, no memory card, obviously. Just turned it on. So let's put a memory card. Now remember I told you guys to use a very high-speed memory card, and when it comes to high-speed memory card, this is one of the good ones that I bought. It's called Extreme Pro, 170 megabytes per second, and it's you know, category 3, class 10, and all that good stuff. So Extreme Pro from SanDisk, and the part number is that, and it's made in Malaysia. All right, so let's put this memory card here. Make sure when you put in the memory card, the shiny you know, connectors should be facing the cameraman. I'll repeat that. See, this is the memory card. The shiny connectors should be facing the cameraman. And then you close it. So on that memory card, I have 3 hours and 39 minutes available. Now that's not an empty card. There's videos in it, but just gives you an idea of how much capacity that has. Okay, so now we will talk about the setup of this camera. The menu, you have to press the menu. Let me zoom out there. So we have the menu button right here. So when you press the menu, you get the screen where you can set up the camera. Now the type of options you have depends where if your camera is set to manual or auto. If your camera is set to manual, you have more options, and automatic you have limited options in every menu screen, because most of the things are being controlled by the camera when you're setting it to auto. Okay, so let's press the menu. That's what we get when you press the menu. Now you could adjust, you could select menu items with this or with your hand. It's up to you, but you could do either or. Select with that or with your hands. But to make it, I'm going to zoom into the screen, so I'm going to choose the hand option so you can see better, because I'm going to zoom into the screen. So we have so many menu levels and setup levels. In this page, you're seeing it's all about the zoom. Soft zoom, you could turn it on and off, and there it is. It's start, stop, and you know, on and off. You could zoom speed if you want fast, normal, and slow. You have grip operation. Let's go back there. Grip zoom operation, enable and disable. The grip zoom operation, it's talking about this zoom, which you do with your hands as you're gripping the camera, and you could enable it or disable it. So that's basically what that is, and it's enabled currently. Grip zoom speed, they're variable or fixed. You could use a constant speed or a variable speed. Now with constant speed, no matter how much pressure your fingers, when you press your fingers with your fingers, when you press the zoom, no matter how much pressure you bring on them, the speed will be a constant speed. With variable, depending the pressure, the speed will differ. The more you push it, the faster the zoom will go in and out. So I like the variable speed, but it's a personal preferences. High speed zoom is on, but you could turn it off. The high speed zoom requires good skills in order for the image not to be shaky. So if you're a beginner, I would leave the high speed zoom off, because the image will, your video will look terrible if you have too many high speed zooms in and out. All right, so now let's go to the next page. See, this option alone has 4 pages. So we are going to the next page. Oh, this way. You have to go this way. So page 2. Autofocus mode, currently it's intelligent autofocus, but again you can change that only the autofocus if you're in manual mode. Currently when I'm on auto mode, I cannot even change the autofocus from this button because I'm in manual mode. I'm in auto mode. So that's that. See, a lot of options are grayed out because I'm in auto mode, so keep that in mind. So this has multiple options. You could say instant autofocus, you could say medium, or you could say normal. Okay, focus, preset speed. Let's see what options we have. We have fast, normal, and slow. At what speed you want the focus to jump to presets, So that's the lens will rotate in order to focus, and at what lens the motor should spin to, at what speed should the motor spin, which is rotating the lens for your focus. This is what that is. Okay, auto slow shutter. So this is automatic slow shutter in low lights. You want it on or off. Now the slow shutter will give you not a greatest quality image because it will be blurry. You will have motion blur if the shutter speed is slow. So keep that in mind. Even though you may get a better image quality as far as light is concerned, but then you will have motion blur. So the camera, if the camera is sitting on a tripod and your object isn't moving so much, then this would be a great idea. Flicker reduction, it's off. You could turn it on. Let's go to next page. Okay, ND filter, so this doesn't have it right now because it's in automatic mode. Conversion lens is off. You could put a conversion lens if you want to. Image stabilizer, you could choose off, you could choose standard, or you could choose dynamic. So that's up to you which option you want to choose. The standard is recommended, but dynamic image stabilizer is changing on the go, like real time. So standard is much better. Powered IS button. So let's see what options we have here. So IS stands for image stabilization. So press and hold or toggle on and off, which you can choose between the two. Okay. Let's see what else. Oops, let me go back there. Focus and zoom ring operation is enabled. So that's this guy right here. You could use this ring you could program this ring to be used either for zooming in and out or for focusing, depending what you wanted to use it for. So it's a programmable ring. So that is currently enabled, and then you could change that operation later. I'm going to show you how to switch between zoom and focus. So currently it's enabled. You could disable it if you wanted to, but it's enabled. Alright, so let's go to the fourth one. Focus ring direction. It's normal, but you could do reverse direction or normal. So normal is good because with reverse direction, the zoom and focus will be different. I guess if you're a left-handed person, maybe that would come in handy for you. So that's what that is. Focus ring response. You have to choose fast, normal, or slow. And then we have zoom ring direction. You could choose normal or reverse. Okay, so the normal, I recommend everything to leave default, because if you learn in certain way and then you change it, then that will create complication for you. Okay, now we will go to the second settings, which is the recording. So that MP4 is the video recording resolution. Currently is at 4K, and you have like 4 options. You could go do 1280 by 720 at 8 megapixels per second. I'm sorry, 8 megabytes per second, or you could go 1920 by 1080 at 17 megabytes per second, or 1920 by 1080 at 35 megabytes per second. This will have, of course, much better quality, and the best quality is 3840 at 2160 at 150 megabytes per second. That is the highest rate, best quality, which is the 4K. Okay, so now we have the frame rate. The frame rate currently it's at 29.97. You could choose a higher rate, but you can't because of the limitations of the resolution. So basically, if I want to go to the 59, then I have to reduce my resolution. I have to go here. Okay, now I will have a frame rate of up to 59 available, because the processor cannot process 59 megabytes, 59 frames per second at such a high resolution that if you want to do that, you have to spend your wallet, open your wallet really wide and get a camera for like $2,000 to do that. So this camera, if you want 59 frames per second, then you have to choose, sacrifice your quality. So for me, frame per second is not that important, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose the highest quality, and then I'll go back, and the frame rate I'll just stick with the 29.97, which is the standard. Okay, and then media, recording media, you have to choose if you want memory card A, memory card B, and for movies and for photos you could switch. Okay, now I don't have a memory card B right now, so it's telling me there is no memory card available, but you could choose to take pictures on one, photos on the other, videos on the other, or you could have both of them record simultaneously for safety, and that's a different setting, not here. I'll show you that too. Dual, this is the one, dual recording, it will record on both, and then relay recording, it will record on one and transfer it to the other. So these are all for safety. Now this will finish your battery faster because it's like processing image on both cards and writing on both cards. It's not going to make a major difference in the battery life, but of course it will be more work for the camera to write on both cards. Okay, so slow and fast, this one, slow and fast motion. Now if an object is going very slow, for example a turtle is walking and you want to shoot it, so people get sick and tired of watching the turtle walking for like a minute. So what you can do is put it on 4, so a 4-minute shoot of the turtle will translate to 1 minute like faster speed. And same thing, if you shoot for a minute, it will only be 15 seconds. Same thing. So you have to choose which one you want. Like if you choose the highest one, which is 1200 times speed. So if you choose for 20 hours, it will show in 1 minute. Now this is good for sunset and sunrise and sunset. For example, you could leave the camera running outside your window for like 8 hours, and it will show the sunrise to sunset in less than like 40 seconds or 30 seconds, because it will be that fast. Let me go back to the normal one off. All right, so that's what that is. Available space and memory tells you how much space you have in card A and card B. Currently I only have card A installed, so that it's not applicable. And then we have page 2 of this. Okay, initialize SD, that's like formatting the SD card. If you press this, it tells you which memory card you want to initialize, memory card A or B. I don't want to format because I still have some images in that, but that's basically what that is. And then record command on and off, you could turn it on or off if you wanted to, verbal command. And then HDMI time code to have the time on the HDMI if you want it on and off, or I want it off, so I don't care about that. And then the time code, you want it to rerun or free run, record and run or free run. Like this means like only the time code will start when the record is running, or it will run continuously. That's what that is. And DF, NDF. Okay, now these are filters. I don't have any filters, but if you had a filter, then that's where you choose your filters. Initial time code. So that's that. I already did that in the beginning. User, bit type, settings, time and date, how you want it. Color bars. This is the color bars are for understanding the lighting of your image. So if you're an expert, it's good for you, but if you're a beginner, this will confuse you. Like it shows you the color temperature, how much of each one you have. Okay, 1 kilohertz tone. This is how many decibels in and off you want it to be, like minus and plus and minus decibels. That's for like perfect audio sound, to set up the sound level. MP4 clip photo numbering, how you want the photos to be numbered, continuous or reset every time you turn on the camera. Continuous is good because when you copy the images to your computer, it doesn't say duplicate image because it's continuous numbers. Okay, so this is for built-in mic. And now you see these, I cannot change anything because I'm an auto. Mic power is on. This is for external mic which has power. Headphone volume, you could change the headphone volume here. Most are grayed out when you're on notification sound, you could change that. And then we have Hdmi Max Resolution. Okay, now my HDMI is not putting out, the HDMI port on this puppy is not putting out 4K. That's something you need to know. The maximum resolution of the HDMI output, which is this jack right here, the maximum resolution of this puppy is only 1080p, not 4K. What does that mean? That means you cannot live stream at 4K, I guess. Yeah, because I would see the way I live stream is that I feed the image from the camera to a Roland VR4 HD, and so I cannot live stream with that setting. Let me show you what I mean. So this is my Roland. So the way I do is I live stream by feeding it, you know, whatever, it has 4 inputs. This guy has 4 inputs. So whichever input I feed, and then I could choose from the selector switch there which one I want to choose. Anyways, so if my output is not 4K, that means my live feed will not be 4K if my HDMI output is not 4K. Now, my video mixer is not a 4K video mixer, so it's not a big deal. So as long as it records 4K on the memory card, that's good enough for me. Okay, so let's go back. HDMI scan mode. Okay, so this is automatically scans what type of signal it is, and then you could have it automatic, or you could have it forced 1080i, and some monitors that cannot handle 1080p. I stands for interlaced, so leave that the way it is. Output status, you want video output, audio output, you could choose the status. You could see the status of that. Currently this doesn't show any option because no output cable is plugged into this. Okay, LCD brightness you can change here, back and forth, and there's also a manual button on the LCD that changes the brightness, which I'm going to show you later. Backlight brightness you can change. If you increase the backlight brightness, the battery life drops, so keep that in mind. Viewfinder backlight brightness, and then LCD mirror image off or on. You could have it on or off depending how you want it. The mirror image is like as if you are looking at yourself in a mirror, so your right is on the right, your left is on the left, like that, when in reality in a television it's the opposite, because the camera is looking at you at the perspective of the person looking at you standing in front of you. That's how the camera looks at you. Okay, output screen displays on or off. You can turn it off, of course, because if you're doing a live stream, you don't want your information, menu information, to be okay. Screen markers, you could have that, different type of markers like grids, and you know what type of grids you want. I don't like using grids, but for some people it's good if they're doing like engineering and buildings and all that. Distance unit, you can change it to foots, standard or meters, feet or meters. And then we have the last settings, language, English, and then power LED on, access LED, auto power off is on, and all that good stuff. So these were all the settings. Now let me close this, and I'm going to change this button to manual. When I change it to manual, now I will have more options in the menu settings. Let's see, now fewer items are grayed out in this setting. Everything is available here. Nothing is grayed out. Everything is available here. Nothing is grayed out. See? And then here. Okay, now these are obviously grayed out because the mic is not an external mic is not attached to it. Mic power is on. Oh wait, that's a built-in mic. Let me see that. Okay, so remember that this camera takes a different type of mic attachment, which could be considered as a semi built-in mic, and that is a mic that has slides in here and here to two places. It slides in here and here, and it's more like a handle as well, and that is the setup for that mic which they are talking about here. Okay, all right, so that's that, and everything else is the same. Okay, now let's go back to menu, exit the menu. 1 second, close. Okay, now watch something. You see the ring in the front. Currently, when I turn it around, it does change the focus, but right here I have a button. If I change this to zoom, now this guy changes the zoom. So this switch determines if the front ring is for focus or for zoom. Okay, that's what the front ring is for, focus or zoom. So I'm gonna leave it at focus because zoom, I can handle the zoom much better here. This is the display switch right here, the display. And the display button, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the full entire camera. Okay, so this, when you press it, it turns the display on and off. But if you press it long enough for 3 seconds, it brightens the screen. Watch. See, the screen got much brighter. To make it darker, you press it and hold it for 3 seconds. It's back to normal brightness. This is the battery info. So this will give you how much battery you have. So the same button is for both. Here's my battery info right there. Okay. And this is a quick replay of your recorded videos. And let's see, did I miss something? I don't think I missed anything. This is automatic. Oh, yeah, here. Remember I said this button only works if this button is on manual. Watch. Now we have, let me zoom in again. Okay. Watch right here. Let me close this lens. Close the lens so you don't get distracted with the images. See, right now it's manual focus. I press again, it's intelligent autofocus. And now it's in infinity. So these are, different settings, but these are only available if this is set to manual. If it's set to automatic, you are not going to be able to do any focus changing. And then you have customizable buttons. You have button 1, 2 here. You have 1, 2, and 3, oops, here, 3 and 4, all these buttons are customizable. You can customize them to do different functionalities depending on what you want them to do. You can program them. I'll make another video for that, because that would be like getting very into deep programming. This is just a simple video on how to use it. Now this is your function, you know, different types of functionalities, levels, and white balance, automatic white balance, and all that. Now because I'm in manual, I get those options. If I go to auto, if I go to the auto setup, okay, now this function has very few settings. A lot of menu items disappeared because the camera is automatically controlling it. But when you go to manual, then it's a different story. Then you have tons of setups in the function that you can adjust yourself. Zoom is just one of them. You have all of these. You have focus, you have light balance, and you have white balance, different types of white balances. You have exposure setup, you have gain setup, you have all kinds of setup when you are in manual. That auto, then, you know, limited options when you're in auto. Okay, so I guess we covered most of the things. It's a very nice camera. I mean, we have this is the customizing button that I remember I said to customize those. This is where you customize. I'm gonna make another video about that and about what these knobs are for customization and so on. So just briefly I'm gonna go over this. So basically you could program this custom button to control automatic gain control and TV, AV settings and all that, and then with this knob you can adjust it without having to go through the menu. And to do that you have to assign what you want it to do, and you have to put the camera in manual and then press the menu button and then come all the way to the settings and then go to the second, third page. And the third page, this is your custom button, and here's what you assign. If you want that to be automatic gain control, TV, AVM, or exposure component control, you could choose either one of those. And in order to do that, make sure the camera is in manual mode, otherwise none of these will function. Okay, so that's a little more advanced tutorial. That's why I'm not going to go into detail, because it's for average Joe. They might never have to use that. And other than that, I think I covered everything in this camera. Don't see anything else that I didn't cover. So yeah, you are gonna be very happy with this camera. Very happy. I have nothing negative to say about this camera. The image, the recording quality is second to none. And I highly recommend it. You know, I have other 4K cameras. I like this the most. So yeah, I hope this video was informative for you. And I'm going to leave a link down below for the PDF manual for this camera, because I might not have covered everything. I'm sure there is a lot more that I didn't even talk about, and I might not even know about, which you can look at the manual and learn. All right. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.